Thomas the Tank Engine has worked his branch line for many years, and knows it very well. You know just where to stop, Thomas, laughed his driver. Hey, you could almost manage this job without me. Now Thomas had become conceited. He didn't realize his driver was just joking around. But later he boasted to the others. Driver says I don't need him now, he said. Don't be so daft, snorted Percy. I'd never go anywhere without my driver, said Toby earnestly. I'd be frightened. Huh, said Thomas. I'm not scared. You'd never dare. I would then. You'll see. Next morning the firelighter came. Thomas drowsed happily as the warmth spread through his boiler. Percy and Toby were still asleep. Then Thomas suddenly remembered. Silly stick-in-the-muds, he thought. I'll show them. Driver says I don't need him now. I'll just go out and then I'll stop and wheesh! That'll make 'em jump. Then Thomas started to move, but the only reason he was moving is because a careless cleaner had meddled around with his controls. And soon he found his mistake. He tried to wheesh, but he couldn't. He tried to stop, but he couldn't. He just kept rolling along. He didn't dare look at what was coming next. There was the station master's house. The station master was about to have breakfast. Horrors! Cried Thomas, and shut his eyes. The house rocked, broken glass tinkled, and plaster flew everywhere. Thomas collected a bush on his travels. He peered in through the room through its leaves. He couldn't speak a word. The station master was furious. His wife picked up her plate. You miserable little engine, she scolded. Just look at what you've done to our breakfast. Now they'll have to go and cook some more. She banged the door on her way to the kitchen. More plaster fell, but this time it fell on Thomas. Thomas felt depressed. Workmen propped up the house with strong poles and then laid rails through the garden. And then the Scottish twin engines, Donald and Douglas, arrived. Get out fast yourself, Thomas. We'll soon have you back on the rails. They laughed. Donald and Douglas, puffing hard, managed to haul Thomas back to safety. Bits of fencing, a bush, and a broken window frame festooned Thomas's front, which was badly twisted. The twins just laughed and left him. Thomas was now in disgrace. Later, Sir Topham Hatt spoke to Thomas. This accident was not your fault, Thomas. It was that careless cleaner's. Yes, sir. I understand, sir. Thomas's voice was muffled behind his bush. But for now, you must go to the works and have your front mended. It'll be a long job. Yes, sir. So meanwhile, a diesel rail car will come and do your work. Diesel, sir? Thomas spluttered. Yes, Thomas. This diesel will be sure to do all the work that you'll be doing while you're away. And with that, Thomas just had to be content.